back to the man's kitchen. It's me, your host, James the Food Man. And what are we going to make today? We're going to make a nice, easy oven-baked mac and cheese. And today we're going to use some Kraft cheese powder for it. Because what's better than this? Oh, hold on a second. What? Something's cutting my earpiece. We can't use Kraft mac and cheese powder? We have to make this from scratch? Oh, hell, there goes my easy video today. All right, well, if we have to make this from scratch, and I'm going to go through some work, then if you want to support me by hitting the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below about what you like to put in your mac and cheese, that would really help me out, since apparently the powers that be in my ear tell me I can't just make a video with Kraft mac and cheese powder. I actually have to use real cheese. I have 2 cups of shredded marble here. I have 1 cup of shredded mozzarella and a couple slices of Swiss. I have half a cup of cream cheese. I have 2 heaping spoons of sour cream. I've got 2 cups of cream. I've got half a cup. No, that was 2 cups of milk. This is half a cup of cream. 10% cream. 1/3 cup each, flour and butter. Got some breadcrumbs, some salt, some pepper, chili flakes. And before I started, I took a half of a 1-pound bag of pasta and I boiled it up right here. I put some butter on it so it wouldn't get sticky, and that was the prep. Now I've got a pot back here. We're going to preheat. And while that's heating, I'm just going to remind everybody that you can always follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Now, into that pot, I'm going to add the flour, the butter. Boom, there goes the butter right into the pot. I'll bring the camera on over so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so the butter has melted. We're going to add in the flour. Okay, we're just going to stir this up. And this is going to make us a white roux. So we're going to cook this over a medium heat for about 2 minutes. Alright, so I've cooked my roux down for the required time, and I'm going to switch to a whisk. Now, our regular whisk broke, so this is a whisk meant for a frying pan, because you can push it against the pan like that. So what I'm going to do is I like to add my thicker dairy first. So I'm going to add in some of the cream. And I'm going to whisk in that roux. And I'm going to take it off the heat while I do this. And now that's basically starting to absorb it all, I'll put some more in. There's enough heat in the bottom of the pan. Okay, it's looking pretty lumpy right now. So I actually give it the rest of the cream. Now we'll give it a little bit of the milk, maybe half. Just whisk that up until the roux disappears. Okay. Give it the rest of the cream, or milk. Now it's got all the milk. So there's 1/3 cup butter, 1/3 cup flour, half a cup cream, 2 cups milk. Okay, and this is a good place to add the cream cheese. You can melt it at this point while you bring the liquids up to temperature. It's a good spot to add the cream cheese because it's going to need, because it's the thickest cheese, it's going to need some time basically to melt. So I'm going to let this go probably about 5 or 6 minutes, just for it to come up to a boil. Maybe 10 minutes, I'm not quite sure. Somewhere in that range, between 5 and 10 minutes. I'm going to turn the gas up to medium. You never really want to truly boil milk, you want to scald it. So I'll get back to you once this has basically gotten that hard simmer. And we can add the rest of the cheeses and put this together. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes and you can see now that it's pulling together as a thickened sauce. And because we stood here and kept it going, there's no burn on the bottom of the pot. So I'll bring it over to the counter and we'll assemble this up. All right, so the very first thing I'm going to add is the cream cheese, is the sour cream. And the sour cream, what that's going to do, well, one, sour cream's awesome and I love it. And two, is if the cream cheese has made it a little too thick, because the amount of roux that I had was right for the amount of liquid, but that cream cheese isn't really accounted for in that ratio, so that's going to make it a little extra thick. Well, that sour cream is just going to basically thin it out as if we didn't have the cream cheese in there. So now that that's incorporated, we're going to take our cheese. Okay, I'm going to mix this in. We're going to grab our more cheese, the mozzarella, mix that in. I'm going to tear up the Swiss. Since it's sliced, you're just going to tear it up. It's going to melt. There should be enough heat energy inside of all of the sauce in here to be able to easily handle this much cheese. But if it does start to seize on you, you can put it back on the stove. Okay, so yeah, we have this nice gooey, stringy cheese sauce that we formed. And if it's too thick for you, just add a little more milk to it. Okay. Hot. Okay, this is going to be awesome. Now we're going to take some salt. Some pepper. Some chili flakes. Kraft mac and cheese pie, I'm just kidding. Give it a mix. I want to switch to a spatula or a stiff spoon, stiff spatula. We're going to add in our macaroni. Start folding this together. Other things you could do before I creamed it, before I put the cream into the roux, you could put a little white wine in there at that stage. I wouldn't go more than, say, half a cup. All right. This is going to be insanely cheesy. Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. So I have my dish here, and it's already greased a bit because I wasn't sure if this was going to fit or not, so I took my buttery noodles and poured them in here. And since I did that, it's kind of got pre-greased a bit. So we'll add our, oh, this is going to be ridiculous. Now, some of you might think I went too far with cheese. I have too much, and that's fine. I happen to disagree. Oh, this is gonna be ridiculous. Okay. Get every last bit of that cheese out of there. Oh yeah. Okay. Now the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some breadcrumbs. You can use panko if you want. I don't have panko. We're gonna put that on here. Yeah, just enough to cover it. I probably used maybe a quarter of a cup. Now we're gonna load this into the oven. I have the oven preheated. Convection bake 350 degrees. If you do not have a convection oven, set your oven to 400 degrees. I'm going to put this in for about 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to develop a nice brown crust on there. Now, if you were getting this ready the day before, and you wanted to set it up that way, I would leave the breadcrumbs off, wrap it. I'd bake it wrapped for probably about 40 minutes. Pull the wrapper off, add the breadcrumbs. Now, at this point, you got the choice. Switch to your broiler if your baking dish is broiler safe. Sometimes that heat is too intense and will crack your dish. Otherwise, bake it another 5 to 10 minutes uncovered. Since this is going in basically hot, we're going to do about 15-20 minutes. Okay, everybody, it's been 20 minutes. This is the end result. I just took this out of the oven, and this is really hot. So, let's see what happens when we scoop some out. Oh yeah. Mmm. I'm in cheese heaven. I'm getting a sensory overload. I got a little bit of the crust here, and it gives that nice crunch that you expect in a baked mac and cheese. At first, I was a little worried I overdid it with the cheese. Said no one ever, and that's right, because this is amazing. I think it could have even taken more cheese. I really do. This is awesome. I'm going to sit here and devour this. You go to the store, get everything off the ingredient list, make this for yourself. Let us know how it turned out. Till next week, I'm James the Food Man, and you've just seen a video in the man's kitchen.